All right, it's time to fire it up, baby. Let's go. Nice. All right, it's time to fire it up, baby. Let's go. Nice. So the Viper turned on, as you guys saw, and it sounds good. Everything's running smooth until it wasn't. What happened?
What do you mean?
What happened?
What?
You said there's an issue with the Motec.
I figured it out, buddy.
Oh,
I was just with you.
What a dick.
2 seconds later.
It's very, very loud, obviously, but I'm gonna take you guys back in there. So this is the first time the car's been on the dyno. We're not using nitrous right now. We're only doing a run with the Supercharger. We're running 1300cc injectors. We've got a race pulley on there from Supercharger, so it should be doing about 14 psi. Stock headers for now. The new ones are coming in. We went with the American Racing headers. 1 7/8, so we're waiting for those to come in as well. This is just Supercharger and fuel. Let's go see what's going on.
Andre, I don't know much about Vipers, to be honest with you, but I do know one thing.
What's that?
We're gonna make a ton of power.
Thank you. That's what we're here to do. Anyway, I'm not gonna, there's no need for me to talk.
Honestly, that's how I feel though, you know? Like,
you know what, bro? I feel the same.
I'm just not gonna. There's no point in me speaking anymore. You guys just wait. We're gonna do a few more runs here, and we're only on pump right now. You guys, we're not even on corn. We're on pump gas, 91 piss gas.
Yeah, you still need to put ethanol in it, and then we gotta put nitrous. All
right, it is morning time now. I am back at Speed Lab. My beard fell off. My hair got a little bit shorter, and Ronnie is still in the car, but he's got a neat hoodie on. We did some baseline numbers yesterday. It was getting late. We were kind of tired. We figured, you know what? Might as well come back with a fresh start to our day. We've got the barbecue outside. We're going to throw some meat down pretty soon. But we're going to get a cold start on this thing. I've never heard this thing on a cold start before with the blower setup. When they first fired it up, I wasn't actually here. So I missed the first cold start. But I'm here now. And we're ready to make some power. Let's hear this thing. So pretty much today, we're gonna tune this thing on both pump gas and on also ethanol, E85. And we're gonna see what kind of numbers we can get on the dyno. It's gonna be a fun day here at Speed Lab. We're gonna get this dialed in, probably get it out of here later on today. That's the goal at least. Nitrous won't be tuned today. That'll happen probably next week sometime. As you guys know, the dynos are in-house, so we can come by whenever Ronnie is free and get this thing back on the rollers, the hubbers, I guess you can call them, because they're hubs, not rollers, and get this thing dialed in with the nitrous. So, let's get the show started. I'm going to show you guys some dyno pulls that we do today. It's supercharged stock headers. We're on stock headers. It's at about 13, 14 PSI, and pump gas, and also E85s. As anxious as you guys all are to see some numbers on the dyno, to see how this thing's performing, as you all know, when you modify a car that isn't brand new, you tend to come across some issues. And so, we've came across quite a few issues with the Viper, to say the least. But Nigel's behind me here, well, behind you guys on the other side of the camera, taking the transmission off of the Viper. Now, that was a very unforeseen event that we didn't want to do because we understood that this car had a BBG clutch on there, which it does. But we also understood that this clutch only had about 1,000 miles on it and didn't have much abuse on it, which it did. The abuse part it did, not the 1,000 miles. Definitely had more than 1,000 miles on it. Needless to say, we are not here to complain or bitch or moan. We are here to report to you what the delays are with the Viper. And this video will go up before the dyno comes out because we got a lot of more work to do here, it seems. And I don't want to keep you guys waiting because I've gotten tremendous amounts of direct messages on Instagram. People have been commenting, where's the update on the Viper? Well, here we are. Here's your update, ladies and gentlemen. You guys enjoyed the video thus far. We enjoyed making it. We're going to enjoy it much more when it's actually the dyno. So, we got this F1X kit from Calvo Motorsports. It came in on time. Everything was fine and dandy. Upon installation, Nigel recognizes that this kit was made for an ATI pulley. We didn't have an ATI, so I called Antonio over at Calvo, and he says, oh shit, I got one right here. I'll send the out. So he sent the out. We got it a couple days thereafter, and it's on the car now. I'm looking at it from underneath. Right up there, next to that yellow oil filter. And so it turns out that that pulley is correct, but the race pulley, as ProCharger calls this pulley, for 14 PSI or something like that, it's large. It's like 10 inches in diameter, which is f***ing huge for a supercharger pulley. Well, that means more boost. We're not opposed to that. But it turns out the pulley's rubbing the water pump and also the rack. So Mr. Nigel, being as nifty and creative as he is, decides we need to shave this thing down and make it fit because there's no turning back at this point. So he did that, and he made the large pulley fit. Thank you, Nigel. Then I wire up the nitrous system. We're getting no power to the arming switch. So the nitrous isn't currently working, but we are going to diagnose that after we get some baseline numbers on the dyno with just blower. We install the Motec, and upon installation, Ronnie can't connect to it for some reason. This was last weekend. And last weekend being Friday, Saturday. Today's Tuesday. Turns out a sensor that I have on the Viper is a crap sensor. We need to get an upgraded version of the sensor, which comes off of a Dodge Neon SRT4. Try to locate that, because that car has been made for like 15 years now. So it turns out we find one at a dealership. We're in Pacoima, right outside of Los Angeles, about 20 minutes from my house. We find this damn sensor in Ventura, which is about 70 miles away from Pacoima, 60 miles away, something like that. So I go on a wild goose chase, and I buy the damn sensor. In fact, we bought two of them, because it's always good to have a second one in case the first one doesn't work, which is called Andre's Law. So, we've come to terms here. Nigel just got the transmission off. He's standing right behind you guys on the camera. And it looks like he's now taking the clutch off. We're going to see what's going on with this clutch.
Yeah, so this is going to be the second disc. The first disc is already out.
Ooh.
So,
oh, God.
Man, that is freaking smoked. So, you guys might not be able to see it on camera, but the steel is actually peeling up because this thing got so hot. There's a lot of leftover residue from the metallic clutch discs too. Let's see how this disc looks. Terribly thin and chipping on all the edges. All blued from being overheated. But this one I was actually looking at earlier, and this is probably why this thing is just absolutely toasted. I mean, you can see it was actually touching the pressure plate. This got so thin.
And how did we determine that this car needs a new clutch?
Well, after going on the dyno, just to do some pump gas pulls, which mind you was not even close to the power that we're trying to make when this car is going to be on nitrous. And it started slipping under what? I think Ronnie said 200 foot-pounds of load, which is absolutely nothing. I mean, this thing should make north of 800 or 900 foot-pounds on full kill, maybe even a little more. But this thing does not have 1,000 miles on it. There's absolutely no way this thing has 1,000 miles on it, especially considering this car was stock.
Yep, I'd have to agree with you. And we got a hold of Nth Moto, which is pretty much one of the fastest Viper shops out there. They currently, as of yesterday, built the first Gen 5, which is our generation Viper, to go 6s in the quarter, went 691. So, Aaron, I know you're watching this. Congratulations to Nth Moto for the outstanding quarter mile run. They went 210 miles an hour at 6.901, I think it was, which is insane. But they were able to source us a clutch, an Nth Moto triple disc carbon clutch, which is in transit as we speak. We got it overnighted for like 300 bucks to show up here, only to be set back a little bit further because Nigel, explain to the audience what the BBG clutch has on the car, installed on the car, that no other clutch uses. What's the difference?
Yeah, so BBG, you have to cut the stock clutch line first off and put on a little adapter fitting to be able to see right here. So that's the first dilemma. It gets rid of the quick release that the stock Gen 5 has. And the second problem is BBG uses their own hydraulic slave cylinder, or throwout bearing if you want to call it that. And the specs are just totally different from factory. I think it's a little bit thicker, so it's going to be way up against the clutch, and the Nth Moto uses factory everything. So now we need a master cylinder for the clutch, and we need this hydraulic throwout bearing because the BBG one that's currently on the car not going to work for us. So another setback.
Just when you thought it couldn't get worse, it does. All right, so Nigel just pointed out more details on this that we're looking at. So, all right, I got it. Well, I was gonna say, I've got this thing dead flush, but it can't be dead flush because it's warped so hard.
Yeah, I mean, it's all bulged out to one side.
Jeez.
Kind of looks like you put a block here and then press the inside, like the center of this thing. It's all bulged. And you can see where it's been rubbing the pressure plate because it got so thin and so hot. And then if you look, there's no material on the inside, but there is material on the outside of the clutch.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That's just kind of, you know, a better visual of how warped this thing is. I don't honestly think I've ever seen a clutch come off a Viper that was that bad.
No surprise why it was slipping now.
Yeah.
Right.
This is definitely the culprit.
And so this has more than 1,000 miles that I was told when I bought the car, and it certainly has more than just a couple months of installation and driving on it.
Maybe like 1,000 miles of clutch kicks on it.
And time to get Ronnie's insight on the clutch.
I mean, this might just be the worst clutch I've ever seen, and I've seen some up clutches, man.
Oh, Jesus.
This is pretty bad.
You came back from a fresh haircut and this is what you come to, huh?
Yeah, Nigel was showing me the material transfer over here. I've never seen it this bad. Usually you'll like see a little bit of discoloring and you could like feel the warpage, but you can feel the, what is this, cerametallic?
Yeah,
cerametallic. It's like embedded into the
It's not supposed to look like a zebra?
Definitely not supposed to look like that, bro.
This thing is toast. Toast.
And it's bulged to one side. Nigel was showing me.
Just
That
say it
is
had a
insane.
bulge.
It had a bulge.
Nice big bulge, dude.
That's crazy. I can't believe. I mean, it wasn't holding like 300 foot-pounds of torque on the dyno when we were trying to load it. So makes sense now.
No bueno.
Come on, man. Give me a little break here.
Well, guys, here we are. Such is life, and life goes on. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you guys have your post notifications on. And I will see you guys on the dyno for the next vlog. Oh, the Evo's almost done too. That's gonna be a cool little car. Mr. Nigel himself built an amazing setup for the top mount turbo on that car. And that's gonna be fun on the dyno.
That thing's gonna be wicked.
Oh yeah. We've got some nice races coming up, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you're subscribed. See you next time. Yeah.
Next.
Sorry, you excited?
I'm always excited. You know what I'm excited
Can you
about?
make that noise for us again? All right, we're having fun here at Friday night at Speed Lab. This is what you're gonna get. You're gonna get a what?
Yes, sir.
Well, that was fun.